Good morning, students. Now today I am going to start my 14th chapter, fluid pressure, with video number 1. Now let us start. Today's topics are fluid thrust, fluid pressure exerted by a liquid column, Pascal's law, and Archimedes principle. Now, students, already all of you are familiar with these physical quantities behalf of your previous knowledge of class 9. But this chapter is in your course, that's why I am going to discussing everything of these topics. First thing is, we have to discuss about the fluid. In the case of liquid, such as water, which is in the state of rest. It means when the liquid is at rest, then we will discuss all the things which are taken in this chapter, that is chapter 14, fluid pressure. Now let us start. First topic is fluid. I hope all of you know that what is the fluid. Just all of you have read about the fluid. You have read solid, liquid and gas, three states of the matter. In this, fluid are known as liquid and gas, which can flow easily. Another thing is, this is fluid thrust. If we take any container, suppose this is a container. In this container, suppose a liquid such as water is filled here, or any liquid, doesn't matter. And this liquid is in the state of rest, that is in equilibrium. And suppose you have to place here a body, which is also in the state of rest. It means what happens here? Here is a force is applied on this body due to this liquid, like that. And if it is rest, then what happens? Net force acting on this is 0. This force, which is the normal to the surface of the body, look, this or this or this or this, everybody. These forces are acting perpendicular to the surface of the body, and this is known as fluid thrust, because this thrust is given by this liquid. And another thing which is very important, when we go on account of this thrust, that is a normal force acting on the surface of that body, in the upward direction, you have heard the name, another physical quantity, that is the upthrust. It means this fluid thrust is the force exerted by the fluid on any body which is kept in the state of rest inside the liquid or fluid, normal to its surface, or you can say perpendicular to its surface. We can't say normally this is force. I hope all of you understand. What is the thrust? Thrust is the normal force acting on the surface of an object inside the fluid. In which this is placed, that's why here is written fluid thrust. That's why it is written what? Fluid thrust. I hope all of you understand meaning of this. And what will be its SI unit? Newton, because it is a force. here I have written fluid pressure. What do you mean by fluid pressure? This is very important again. Fluid pressure. If we place any object inside the water, then what happens? We require a force. We feel that someone is pushing that body in the upward direction. If we take a light object whose density is less than the density of the fluid or liquid, it means what happens here, a pressure is exerted by the liquid or fluid, that is known as fluid pressure. And this fluid pressure is known as thrust by area. It means we can say the fluid pressure exerted by fluid on any body when it is immersed in any body, in any fluid or in any liquid. That normal force, this is what? This is known as normal force by A. Simply it is written as F by A, but for your memory you should write like this. This is the normal force per unit area. But again, you should know that this is in the state of rest. We have defined these things. And this is a physical quantity with whose unit you can write Newton per meter square, or you can write Pascal also. And dimensional formula for this pressure already I have discussed in the chapter of dimensions, but you should again calculate every time. Now come on the another topic, that is the pressure exerted by liquid column. For this we have to take a uniform shaped object for our convenience. And for that, suppose here is again I am taking a liquid or a fluid. Whose density is rho? Suppose this is again in equilibrium, and here we take a cylindrical object. In which liquid is filled. Suppose its cross-sectional area is A. Cross-sectional area is A here. Suppose this end is X and this end is Y. Now first of all we can calculate the amount of mass of the liquid inside this cylindrical vessel, and you have read that density is equal mass per unit volume. It means we can calculate here mass is equal to density into volume. It means we can write here mass M is equal, density I have taken here and volume suppose B. And suppose the height of the vessel is H. Then what happens? This M can be written as rho into, what will be volume here? Base area into height, that is A into H. This is density, this is volume, base area into height. This will be the mass of the liquid contained by this vessel. Now just you have it that liquid or fluid exert a pressure on the body. It means here is a pressure is exerted on this and on this also. On this also at every layer. This one. Like that. Suppose this pressure is Px acting the x, and here is pressure is Py. Now we want to know that this Px and Py is same, or there is any difference in this. If there is a difference, then we can say that pressure is exerted by liquid column. This is the liquid column, that is of this H. And in this way, we can say here, we are taking the topic here what? Pressure exerted by liquid column. This topic. First of all, you should the heading, that is pressure exerted by liquid column. Pressure exerted by liquid column. Yes. Now, here is, we have read that pressure is equal force by area. Now we can calculate here force is equal pressure into area. Now what will be force applied here? Here will be force at x. Force at in x. We can write here Fx, that is Px. I have taken here pressure Px and area is A. In the same way, force in y. This is Fy, and that will be Py, because I have taken here pressure Py and area is A. This. Now again, look what happens here. How many forces acting on this body? We take this body as a point out. Then one force is applied here. This force Fy, and this force I have taken here applied Fx. And one force is again, that is the weight of the fluid or liquid inside this vessel, and that will be downward direction, that is mc. It means, according to FBD, if it is in the state of rest, then it balances to these two forces. It means we can write here Fy is equal Fx plus mg. In the same way, we can put the value of Fy and Fx as well as m. We can write here Fy is Py into A is equal Px into A, this one, and plus at the place of m we can write rho A into H into G. Now again what happens, we can eliminate from everywhere. We take the common from A here in RHS and cancel out. We get Py is equal Px plus H rho G. This will be the pressure on this lever, or you can say on this I have taken in Y. It means here is we can write like this also, Py minus Px is equal H rho G. It means what happens here? We can say that here is a difference in pressure. And which one is more? This one is more. Because if we add this pressure at end X and the pressure exerted by liquid column, that is we have determined how much H rho G. Then we get the pressure at this end Y. But one more thing which is very important. If we take the concept of atmospheric pressure, then here is also, suppose this was the vessel, then what happens here? Look. Here is the atmospheric pressure is also acting. And this is suppose P naught. Or somewhere you can express this PA also. Suppose this level is at depth H1. Now we can write here this Px again. This is pressure at point X, which is inside the liquid or fluid, having density rho at the depth of H1 from free surface. Now we can write here Px is Pa plus H1 rho and G in the same way. At the place of Px we can replace this one also. And in the same way it will be write the pressure at this point. Suppose this is Y I have taken. And suppose this is at a height of H2. This is at a height of H2. Now we can write here again Py is equal from free surface. If this is atmospheric pressure, again we can write at which depth this point lie. That point Y I have taken for the end Y, or at the point this which is at a depth of H2. Now the liquid column exert a pressure of H2 rho and G. It means again this is common. If we want to calculate Py minus Px, then what we will get? This Pa and Pa is cancelled out, and we get here H2 minus H1 and rho G, and again we will get here H2 minus H1 is nothing. This is H. This is not. This is the pressure difference between two ends, that is X and Y. I hope all of you understand this one well. It means we can say that the pressure exerted by a liquid column depends only on the density of the liquid. This is the delta P. This is H, rho and G. It depends on the depth from the free surface of it. Free surface means the surface of the liquid, this one layer is in the contact of atmosphere or air. Another is it also depends on the density of the fluid or liquid. And next thing is that is acceleration due to gravity. These three factors which affect to this, but we have to use the formula to solve this like this. Px is equal to Pa plus H0 G, and this is Py is equal like this, because atmospheric pressure is everywhere present. If one surface is free surface of that liquid. I hope all of you understand this one also very well. Now another topic is here, Pascal's law. This topic is Pascal's law. This law is given for a liquid is in equilibrium, first thing is, and second is we neglect the effect of gravity. Then when liquid is in equilibrium, It means we can say that everywhere, suppose this is a liquid which is in equilibrium, and we neglect the effect of gravity. Two things. First thing is liquid is in equilibrium, and second is neglect the effect of gravity. And we take here a cylinder again like this. Suppose this is X and this is Y. Here one more thing. These forces are also acting on this body like this and like this, but they are cancelled out to each other at the same level. That's why I have not mentioned this one earlier due to this factor. Horizontal forces cancel out to each other from the both sides. In this way that if we neglect the effect of gravity, it means we neglect the Z. Then what happens? Here is a pressure injected like this, like this, like this. Here is also like this by the liquid, and here is like this, here is like this. This liquid is confined. And earlier I have told that fluid is in equilibrium or liquid is in equilibrium. And second is we neglect the effect of gravity. In this manner, we can say the pressure is same everywhere. This was the first. But if we don't neglect the effect of gravity, then this scenario is taking place. This scenario are taking place. I hope all of you understand this. To understand it better, I am going to explain again this Pascal law that if we take a vessel like this, I am taking a vessel. One minute. And we make here 4 openings. Like that. And here is a liquid as well. And this is block everywhere. This is any liquid or fluid filled inside. If we apply a pressure here with the help of a piston, we push this inside. Then what happens? Here is same pressure is transmitted by this liquid at every opening. If we press this one, and here we required a force, we applied a force by this piston to the effect of that pressure. Suppose 5 Newton, then everywhere we have to apply 5 Newton force at every opening to balance it. It means we can say that here, in an enclosed liquid, if the pressure is increased at any point, then it is transmitted equally on all the other points. I hope all of you understand. This one is the Pascal's law, and you have read the application of Pascal law in previous class, that is class 9, that is hydraulic machine and hydraulic brakes. Also you have read the effect of pressure. When we increase the cross-sectional area, then pressure increases. That's why the handle of the suitcase or made border and the pins are nails pointed at one end so that cross-sectional area will be here made less so that pressure will be more due to the small force. You have read all these things, that's why I have slipped this one. One more thing that in the case of railway track, you have seen that iron rails, below the iron rails here are large sized sleepers made up of wood or stone are placed to increase the surface area so that the pressure is reduces. Just all of you have read these things in previous classes. That's why I did not this. And another topic is, and this is the last topic of that one, that is the Archimedes principle. And all of you are also familiar with that Archimedes principle. What was the Archimedes principle? Just I have told you that if any body is immersed completely or partially inside any liquid, then it experiences a force in the upward direction. The name of that force is upthrust or buoyant force. And this phenomenon of that fluid is known as buoyancy. And if we calculate this buoyant force or upthrust force, then you have read for that buoyant force Fb was V rho L and G. This was the volume of the body immersed inside the fluid. And this rho L is the density of liquid. Density of liquid or fluid in which the body is immersed. And G is the acceleration due to gravity. You have read this. Now, according to principle, now when any object or body is immersed inside a liquid completely or partially, then it experiences a thrust. It means there is a loss in weight, which is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by the body, that immersed body. And you have performed the experiment on that also in the previous classes. Now, one consequence for numerical problem, I am taking this one. That suppose here is a liquid, this is a fluid or liquid, whose density is sigma. And here is the body immersed in this, whose density is rho, mass m. Now its actual weight, suppose W, will be mg, and upthrust will be, using this formula, V, at the place of rho S, we have to place here, and G. And at this place, suppose the mass of this body I have taken in, this volume can be replaced by here, no? Volume can be written mass by density. It means here is mass m, and density of this is what? This density of this upthrust or upthrust we have to place here sigma, because density of liquid I have taken sigma. And this is for this solid. Now we are taking the volume of the immersed body. What will be its volume mass upon its density, and its density I have taken here, and this sigma and this G. Now what will be the apparent weight? That apparent weight will be true weight minus upthrust. And manner we can calculate the upright weight, placing the value here, this W minus FD is mg sigma by rho, and suppose this is equation first. From equation 1 also we can write at the place of mg 2, and after solving this we can write W 1 minus sigma by. In this manner we can calculate the apparent weight of any body inside any fluid whose density is given. One more thing, from this analysis we can say that the pressure exerted by the liquid column, that depends only on the depth of the body or any point inside the fluid or liquid from the free surface, density of liquid, acceleration due to gravity. But in the case of Pascal's law, we have to ignore that. In the actual meaning, if we consider the effect of gravity also, then we get these things. And in this manner we can say that it does not depend on the shape of the container of the liquid, as well as the amount of liquid. If we take the different, look here, different shapes. Suppose this is the first shape as a cylindrical shape. Liquid is filled at the same level here and here. To measure the pressure, we have used here piston and here the scales which are calibrated. If it is filled, we take the another vessel like that. And here is also piston is placed. Same level of liquid. And if we take another like this, level of liquid is same. Here also a piston is fitted. It seems that everywhere pressure is same. And this is known as hydrostatic paradox. It does not depend on the shape of container as well as the amount of liquid inside. It only depends on these things. I hope all of you understand this one also. In the next video, we will solve few numerical problems which make your concepts more clear. Now wait for the next video, and you should prepare the notes for these physical quantities for this chapter also. Okay student, thanks.